Hello, everyone. Welcome to the special Vlogmas series of my Live Talk podcast, The Ivory Tower Be Ivory, the show that talks about the dark, unpolished, secret side of higher education. I am your host, Dr. V, a former college professor turned digital creator and entrepreneur. If you want the Cliff Notes version of how to make a transition in your life and reinvent yourself, check out my complimentary live class at drvernitaglenn-white.com/start-here. In today's episode, we will discuss the ins and outs of an article I read on Inside Higher Ed. This one is different. It is a love letter to Black women and the Academy, and I'm excited to read that and talk through it. Be sure to listen all the way through to the end. You will hear some great offers, and you will be supporting me by boosting the watch time. I would also appreciate your support by hitting those 3 buttons, the like, the subscribe, and the share if something sparked you to do so. And remember, it is free. Sometimes I do have guests on my Live Talk podcast, and you can watch them on the playlist of Women Who Vibe or From Resume to Reinvention located on my channel. However, in this series, it'll just be you and me. So the Ivory Tower Be Ivory in this Vlogmas series is brought to you by Brilliant Wellness, my e-commerce shop. And now let's hear a message from our sponsor. I got into the e-commerce wellness space when I was working as a college professor for several reasons. I wanted a high-quality way to take care of my body when I was traveling to different conferences, speaking, and doing consultant work. I wasn't always eating or sleeping well, and I knew I couldn't keep this up for long before doing some serious damage to my body. The second reason I got into e-commerce was to be able to share with others who trusted me and valued my opinion. I wanted my friends and family to be healthy and also support the environment with natural products. The final reason I got into social sharing and e-commerce was to earn additional income and to help others do the same. I figured since I bought similar products in the past, why not get paid for using them now? I also wanted to help others find a fun and exciting way to earn additional income by sharing products they were going to use anyway. Through Brilliant Wellness, we offer a variety of clean living wellness products such as liquid collagen, our infamous fat-burning pudding, smart coffee, and all things gut health. Also, a variety of household and self-care products. Many of our products are award-winning, high-quality, plant-based, plant-derived, or as clean as they can possibly be. First-time customers get $10 off their first purchase, and they can also get $10 in Live Clean credits to share the love with someone else. The best value is signing up for Smart Ship to save it up to an extra 15% every month. I love Smart Ship because unlike any other subscriptions, you get a chance to change your order every single month without being stuck with the same products. I can go on and on about these items, but check them out for yourself by visiting drvernitaglenn-white.com/wellness or click the description below and see the show notes for more information. All right, welcome back. So I'm going to do something different in this particular episode. I'm actually going to read the article, which is the letter that, let's see, what's her name? Dr. Sherèe Gaynor wrote. I'm going to read it and I'll share my thoughts. Now, I scanned through it. I got a little emotional, so I was like, let me wait, and I'm going to read it live in depth. You can put it on double speed if you don't want to hear me read it, but I wanted to read it raw so you can all get my honest reaction. So it's on my computer, so if you see me looking over, we already talked about this. I have notes. So she wanted to write, the subtitle was, know that while you may be the only one in your program or school or on your campus, you are not alone. So the article starts with, this is a love letter to Black women in the Academy. The impetus for this letter stems from a sister circle where women of color academics regularly gather to temporarily experience life without the protective armor needed to survive the Academy, to build community, and to rejuvenate and restore. The circle is a space unaffiliated with any institution that is carefully curated by Black women academics and offers other sister scholars time to pause and reconnect with the land and the ancestors that walked the land before them, as calling upon one's ancestors can bring peace, calm, and enlightenment. I would like to offer Black women in higher education this note. The armor you wear may reduce the impact of the scars left from all the large and tiny cuts inflicted upon your minds, bodies, and spirits, but is heavy to carry day in and day out for the duration of your career. And as much It is imperative that you intentionally rejuvenate. We have many ways to heal ourselves from the harms inflicted upon us as we navigate the halls of predominantly white institutions. Some people, like me, build community and sister circles. Others seek movements. Others would rather pause, be still, and rest. This love letter is not a how-to for rest and rejuvenation. What this letter is, however, is a reminder that you are seen and you're not alone. The hands of many Black women are on your back, supporting you through the challenges of navigating the academy as a Black woman. Theorists like Kimberly Crenshaw have shown that navigating predominantly white and male spaces as a Black woman requires the navigation of multiple systems of oppression. Many of us are the only one in our unit, which means the academy can be an isolating place. This love letter is a reminder and recognition, a reminder that you are not alone. While you might be alone in your program, countless sister scholars are cheering you on. We recognize your daily experience and your brilliance. Some people may wonder if life in the academy is that bad. Then why remain? Black women academics like you stay because your presence means so much for so many of your students. You stay because you know that for some students, you are the only Black professor they have ever had in their higher education journey. You stay because you are far too familiar with the system of higher education that routinely violates those whose identities fall outside of cis, white male, and heterosexual. You stay because you want to resist the system that was built on the mythical notion that whiteness reigns higher on a racial hierarchy, a notion that is far too common in American society. You stay because you want to eradicate the system for the sisters who follow you. Black women in the academy, you are not alone. You are seen, you are heard, your presence is felt. Black women colleagues across the academy know you. They are you. Institutions of higher education can and often do inflict harm and trauma on your body, mind, and spirit. Being a woman of color in the academy can feel like being in a violent, abusive relationship that you want to escape but cannot. Yet, despite this, without the presence of Black women, there would be no academy, no hallowed halls of intellectual curiosity and advancement. American institutions of higher learning were built on the backs of Black women. Georgetown University, Brown University, and the University of Georgia and the University of Virginia recently acknowledged the role of enslaved labor in the creation of their institution. And what many people don't care to realize is that Black women have always professed. We have always served as knowledge producers, political strategists, and educators. Far before Black women were allowed in the ivory tower, they were building and testing theory. Sojourner Truth, born into the institution of slavery, spoke of intersectionality in her now famous speech, Ain't I a Woman, long before it was an academic theory. Like Truth, Maria Stewart was a Black feminist theorist, abolitionist, and a strong voice for the rights of Black people and women. The intellect of Black women has shaped disciplines from English to neuroscience to nursing to public policy. Your presence is resistance. You are the fertile soil in which disciplinary complications arises. As your intellect often transgresses academic boundaries and pushes against the status quo. Because of this, it is you, Black women, who have been integral in transforming traditional ways of knowing. You lead universities, run centers, direct programs, while also being aunties, that's in quotes, to your students. You are the present, you are certainly the future. So this love letter to Black women in the academy, to let you know that while you may be the only one in your program, your school, or on your campus, you are not alone. You belong despite what anyone tells you. You are brilliant, and this letter is here to remind you to do your thing. Write that book, take the position, quit that job, take up space, rest and restore, do it all, do none of it. Be you, sis, and do it unapologetically. From the sister circle, your sisters hold you with love and compassion. Your sisters collectively say you belong. Sent with love and compassion, Tia Sherèe Gaynor, PhD, Associate Professor. I'll come back with my thoughts after this message from our sponsor. Dear game changer, life changer, mover and shaker, you have the positions, titles, degrees, and status. You've done all the things, and you've done pretty well for yourself. You're already good. You're already great. Now it's time to be phenomenal. Are you ready to design a bigger life than you can imagine? Are you ready to embrace a new, better side of yourself? Are you ready to expand what's impossible and live bolder? Well, it's time to activate your untapped superpowers. It's time to cultivate what's already inside of you, and it's time to elevate your potential and possibilities. Welcome to the School of Brilliance with Dr. V, a high-end advice company specializing in life transformation for the powerful professional, the elite entrepreneur, and the overall high achiever. We help you create dynamic and custom life plans, business curriculum, or a combination of both to help you expand and dominate every area of your life. Dr. V's mission is to help you embrace your brilliance and expand your life by operating in your true identity. Learn the best ways to work with Dr. V and her brilliant team by visiting drvernitaglenwhite.com/workwithme or check the description and show notes below. Welcome back. So I was trying not to be emotional as I was reading it, and I was getting tripped up on my words. I got emotional when I researched this last night, or at the time of this recording, because I wish I had something like this in my doctoral program and as a professor. In my doctoral program, we did have something called Home Scholars, where it was a group of Black students and Latin minority students would get together, and it was fine when we would go to our conferences, but then when we came back on campus, even though we were in the big cohort together, we were all in different tracks. And I was in the mathematics track, so wasn't too many of us over there. It was one other Black female, but she had already graduated. It was one Black male, he was on his way out. But we were just so busy just trying to just get through it, and it was hell. Then going into the academy, you think you have support. And I remember I had this mentor who was actually best friends with my dissertation chair. And she was supportive along the way, but looking back, like not really. But I didn't know anybody. It was like, oh, another Black woman. And she's at this prestigious university. So I was like, oh my gosh, yes. But I remember I sent an email about how hard it was being attacked by students and not getting the support from my faculty. And I emailed her because she had told me, she know what it's like, and that she's at a particular university in my state. So it was like, I know what you had to go through to get that to get your tenure in this administrative position. So clearly you would understand. And she's at a powerhouse university. And the response to the email was like, remember, the students are your customers. So in other words, suck it up, buttercup, and listen to them, or deal with it, or they are the reason why you have a job. That's what I felt when I sent that. And I remember that's when I made the decision, like, I am in this by myself. And I had already been dealing with trauma from not trusting Black women. And I was never I had a lot of like male friends. I've always wanted female friends. But so I'm not the one that was like, well, I don't like females like that. It wasn't that. I'm in a whole sorority. I wasn't like, and I have a little sister. So it wasn't like I was searching for like that. But I've always wanted like Black female friends. So I was never that one. But at the same time, I've been burned by a lot of Black females, especially in my career. That's what my focus has been, my career. So friends is like whatever, but my career, when I would get blocked from certain things or not picked because of, they thought it was some competition, or, I'm not saying this to myself, but this is something that I would say, well, you're too pretty to I don't want you in this space because that takes away from me. Yes, those things were said to me like indirectly, but it was about the way I look. And I was like, I'm not a supermodel, but whatever. So I wish I would have had better support or allowed myself to trust the Black women more that actually were there trying to help me. And it wasn't until probably 2019. So I went into the academy as a professor in 2016. So about 3 years later is when I actually had to do some personal development work to break that shell of F y'all, right? So reading a letter like this and dealing with my own stuff, I'm out of the academy now, but going back is kind of like I probably would have made some different types of decisions had I actually had the support and recognized the support. Even when I was at my institute, and it's hard because not all Black women, and just be honest, not all Black women have the solidarity in higher education. I had a person in probably third or fourth in line on the hierarchy at my former institution, and she would be like, yes, I'm glad you're here, and know that every time you walk in the room, you're standing on the shoulders of those that come before you. Give me this whole little speech. But then when I needed her, or I had some problem, or when I was trying to advance, it was like, well, you didn't include me on this, so how dare you want my help? Or she thought I was trying to take over from it's anyway. All I'm saying is I'm glad this letter exists. I hope it gets into the hands of women who are in their doctoral programs so that they know before they get into the academy that there are Black women who want to support you and to see you win. And don't get me wrong, like I said, when I had to recognize that there was support, I did have Black women around me, but because of I was dealing with my own stuff, I couldn't see it. And it was more non-supportive ones than there were supportive. So it was kind of hard. And then the ones that I actually trusted, when they turned their backs, and it was like, I'm not going through this again. So this one is a little different. If you are in the academy, thinking about going to the academy, one, I would say get some help. One, if you need to go to a therapist, that's one thing. I didn't have to go through a therapist. I went through essentially life coaching and personal development, like doing the work on myself, because, that's a different kind of thing. I wasn't dealing with these of where I needed to go to therapy. I was like, can I go to this retreat and get some healing, some work? And I did. But if it's something deeper than that, please go get help. Get support, even if it's not on your campus. Everyone is not out to get you. Reach out to people and keep reaching out. Everyone's not going to embrace you that looks like you, but there are people who will embrace you that look like you. And continue to do the work on yourself and allow yourself to walk into all of who you are and all of who you be, and not just a version of yourself because you think you have to fit into the ivory tower. Remember, you got there for a reason. You are brilliant. You are smart. I feel like that poem, you is kind, you is love, you is powerful. But real talk, continue to say those things about yourself because it is true. Your presence is needed. I know that I believe God shifted me out of my position, and I was there for a period of time. And looking back, it was really about the students that I helped, the changes that I made, and learning more about myself. So you can go read that letter for yourself. I'll put the title of the article, like I do, and all of them down in the description and in the show notes. But I just want to say that, and I kind of wish I would have read something like that to know to keep trying. There are women out there who want you to succeed and they don't feel threatened by you. And that's an interesting thing because it's like people are already threatened by Black women, especially when we go into the ivory tower. I don't need another sister looking at me like I'm a threat. All right. That was a little emotional. I feel it in my body. Got to release that. All right, so we'll hear this last word from our sponsor. We all have some sort of relationship with money. Some love it, some fear it, some hate it, and some enjoy it, while others see it for what it really is, a tool. I've been in each one of these categories before, but now I can say that I know money is a tool that works for me, and I enjoy telling it what to do. However, it hasn't always been this way. I've always been a great saver and budgeter, but when I became a dualpreneur and then later a full-time entrepreneur, I needed to shift how I thought about money. I no longer had a salary to rely on. I had to start seeing myself as a magnet to money, whether it was going back to a job or staying in my own business. I had to unlearn and learn a lot about money in this new space. I am grateful for Dr. Tracy, who has been my business coach and now my secret money mindset whisperer. Yes, a mouthful. We have a tight community, but it would be selfish of me not to share this amazing experience. Dr. Tracy is a living example of how money truly is a vibe. Check out her membership using my affiliate link below. I encourage people to go all in for at least 90 days, and then you get to decide if you want to keep going. But this isn't your average community. Dr. Tracy gives so much practical and energetic knowledge that you can't help but to shift your mindset and your relationship with money. Well, if you're open, of course. Check out the Money Mindset membership, and I can't wait to see you on the other side. Whew. All right, so let me know your thoughts down below. If you have any situations that have happened to you in the Ivory Tower, if you agree with what I'm saying, if you disagree, I take all of that. Make sure you just keep it cool. I don't mind a discussion, but let's just keep it respectful. And I'll be sure to comment down below. And remember, if you're beginning your day or ending your day, be well, be empowered, be bold, and be brilliant. Until next time, bye.